Bomb1st and Reggie Wright Jr. canceled by sponsor Morgan & Morgan law firm based on the allegations that Reggie Wright Jr. was the orchestrator in the death, or should I say assassination, of Tupac Shakur. This is major news. Let's get into some of this straight game.
Life is like a game of cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy Delray Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Straight Game TV. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Do me a favor, click on the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and like I always say, if you want to be one of the first people notified when I drop some of this straight game, please do me a favor and click on what appears to be that little bell notification right below this video. I'm going to get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, Bomb1st and Reggie Wright Jr. have been canceled by the law firm Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan was acting as a sponsor, sponsoring ads on their YouTube channel, and based on the fact that another YouTube channel by the name of Discretion TV, Valentino, actually called Morgan & Morgan and informed them that Reginald Wright Jr. was being investigated and had been mentioned as one of the people who allegedly was involved with the murder of Tupac Shakur, who possibly was the mastermind behind that. And from what I understand, Morgan & Morgan has basically ceased to put ads or sponsor Bomb1st, John Highland, and Reginald Wright Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, this is major. This is major. This is major. I guess being a good corporate citizen in Morgan & Morgan and being a respectable law firm, they did not want to be associated, nor were they probably even aware of these recent allegations, as it's been blasted throughout the media. ABC News recently, as we know, did a jailhouse interview with Keefe D, who is now at the Clark County Detention Center being held and charged with the murder of Tupac Shakur, or being in concert with the murder of Tupac Shakur, and in a motion for continuation to need more time. It was alleged that Reginald Wright Jr. and his security firm were the people who actually were behind the masterminds behind the murder of Tupac Shakur in the shooting of Suge Knight on September 7th, 1996. Ladies and gentlemen, this comes as no surprise. I've told you guys before, Reginald Wright did, in fact, pull the security off of Tupac Shakur, sabotaged the security on September 7th, 1996, and basically created the atmosphere to lead up to what actually happened. If you checked out the recent videos that I did, over here on Straight Game TV, I usually try to deal with just the facts, no speculation, no innuendo, know what I think, know what I feel. Like I said, I take the actual information and we break it down. And so with this, somebody sent me, they DM'd me the video this morning. I was like, oh, wow. You know what I mean? But my thing is, when you think about what Reggie Wright Jr. Has been doing over the years, he's been somewhat of a king troll, if you want to name it that way, or for lack of a better term. Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. has made no apologies as to who he is, what he's about. He says that he is a vindictive individual and he will get you and he will do all of these things. In reference to the Tupac situation, Tupac fired Reggie Wright Jr. on August 27th, 1996. And shortly after that, Tupac was shot in Las Vegas, approximately, I would say, 12 days later, 12 days later, if you will, on the Las Vegas Strip. Reginald Wright Jr. was the head of security at that particular time. For some odd reason, when the situation went down, he was not there. He claimed not to be aware. But when it came to calling back to Los Angeles to inform his father, Reginald Wright Jr. seemed to have all of the details, in which he lied about how he obtained that information. First, he said he obtained it through Suge Knight. And after he went to the hospital, he talked to Suge and he got it from Suge. Suge Knight recently responded back and said Reginald Wright Jr. did not come into the hospital, or his hospital room, should I say, and get any information from him. Just recently, Reginald Wright Jr. was on a panel. Reginald Wright Jr. is a convicted felon, right? Convicted of money laundering, drug dealing, and a host of other crimes, right? Former police officer. But recently, he was on a panel with his father, who retired respectfully from a job in dealing with the Compton police force, whom Reginald Wright Jr. had allegedly opened up bank accounts and put money in his father's name while he was doing some nefarious crimes. Reginald Wright Jr.'s father wasn't charged in that situation, but I found it very unfortunate that he would involve his father. But more importantly, Reginald Wright Jr. was recently on a panel with his father for the Seaside Police Department, speaking on Tupac Shakur, and as if he was an upstanding member of the community from that perspective, right? Only for a few days after that to be named by Keefe Deed's attorney, as well as a private investigator that they have working on the case, basically saying that they have witnesses who are willing to come to testify that Reginald Wright Jr. was in fact one of the people who orchestrated the shooting of Tupac Shakur on September 7th, 1996. Like I said, once again, there's no fact. Suge Knight has said, he's spoken out recently saying that Reggie Wright Jr. did in fact pull the security off of Tupac. Tim Williams, who is still alive, one of the security guards who are still alive, recently went on to Bomb1st and basically explained that yes, Reggie Wright Jr. pulled Michael Moore off of Tupac Shakur that night, leaving only Frank Alexander, who Reggie truly, honestly did not like and had a lack of respect for. But like I said, once again, Suge said he called Reggie and told Reggie to send him 5 more security guards that night, and Reggie didn't send anybody. And like I said, little did Tupac know that he was being sabotaged that night. And the person who was responsible for that security and whom the buck should have stopped with has been rummaging throughout the internet, just talking real crazy, calling people names, displaying homophobia and a whole bunch of other things that he does when he can't win an argument or somebody says something that is truthful about him. He begins the kindergarten schoolyard assaults and name calling and things of that nature, trying to distract from the real subject matter. And the subject matter is basically him being responsible for the security of Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight on September 7th, 1996, but basically failing and what is basically you can call it criminal negligence. And I don't know why the estate and Reggie Wright Jr. has tried to cozy up with the estate, because I think he really knows his responsibility and his failure. And he's admitted so much, but he always tries to blame it on Frank Alexander, whom Frank had no communication device that night to communicate with any of the other security teams. As a matter of fact, Frank Alexander said that when Tupac found out that Michael Moore was not going to be on him, as he was with him earlier that day, Frank Alexander said that he had to use a payphone to contact Reggie Wright Jr. You're talking about somebody who was guarding one of the biggest artists in the world at that time, having to use a payphone to call the head of security, to ask him for more security, and where was Michael Moore, because Michael Moore was with Tupac earlier in the evening, but Reggie Wright Jr. pulled him off of him. So there's a whole bunch of speculation around this case involving, like I said, Keefe D's lawyer, Carl Arnold, and the investigator that they hired said that they have witnesses who are willing to come to court and testify that Reginald Wright Jr. Was in fact the mastermind behind the assassination of Tupac Shakur. And therefore, Morgan & Morgan, the law firm, has effective immediately canceled and ceased to put ads or sponsor Bomb1st at all from this point. And I think this is a win for the Tupac family, because like I said, once again, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. has been out here trying to profit off of lies, off of disrespect, off of Tupac Shakur, and claiming that he had more to do with Tupac Shakur's life and legacy than he actually had. And so, like I said, once again, this comes as no surprise, to be perfectly honest. Like I said, the guy at Valentino over at Discretion TV actually called Morgan & Morgan and recorded the phone call, informing them that Reginald Wright Jr. was under investigation for the murder of Tupac Shakur, being looked into, mentioned on Las Vegas media, ABC News, and other news outlets around the world. And so this is what we have, and this is where we are right now with this situation. Morgan & Morgan, the law firm, national law firm, or should I say international law firm. I believe they practice internationally. They have attorneys around the world. Has basically canceled their sponsorship of Bomb1st and Reginald Wright Jr. and John Hyland. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a wake-up call in regards to the murder of Tupac Shakur. And like I said, I just wanted to bring you this. I find it very interesting. Stay tuned. Your boy Del Rey, straight gang.